So, welcome to Nikunjan Raj tutorial, students. Now, we'll continue today with the chapter Biology, Transportation in Plants. Okay. In this chapter, we study two main components: the food and water. How water is transmitted in the upward direction and food is transmitted in the downward direction. Here you can see food is made in leaves. Water and minerals come from the soil. Okay, so this was the fundamental part of the chapter. Next we studied the xylem. Xylem is the one which carries the water. Okay, the water is carried by xylem. So this was the structure of xylem. It had vessels, tracheids, xylem parenchyma and xylem fibers. Okay, we studied their properties and their characteristics and uses. Then we studied how the fibers have tapering ends, and we studied how tracheids are long and narrow, but the vessels are broad, their width is more. Then we studied phloem which carries food. Okay, so this part was phloem here. The four cells of phloem: sieve tube, companion cells, phloem and phloem fibers. Then we studied translocation of solutes, where food is made in the form of glucose, it converts to starch, and then it is transported in the form of sucrose. Then we studied some importance of water to make food, to keep the plant stiff. What is transpiration? We'll study in detail today what is transpiration. Then to transport the food, and it gives a cooling effect because of evaporation. Okay, then we studied, the last topic was root and root hair, where I told you that how if there is a plant tree like this and it has roots, so these roots have root hairs. These root hairs are very thin, and because they are thin and long, they have large surface area, and so they can absorb a lot of water. Okay, so this one root hair, you can see this one root hair, the diagram is shown here. Okay, and in this diagram we saw how this root hair has cell wall and cell membrane, from which cell wall is freely permeable. Freely permeable means easy movement of substances inside and outside, but cell membrane was semi-permeable. Semi-permeable means few substances can pass, others cannot pass. Okay, vacuole was the empty space for food and water. So this was the revision part. Let's continue today. The next topic is few important terms in this chapter. So first let's see this diagram. You can see the roots here. Okay, and you can see oxygen coming out here, this arrow, and carbon dioxide. Plants are taking in carbon dioxide, you know this, and they give out oxygen, and they use sunlight to make their food. Okay, so let's understand what are the different terms here. First is diffusion. What is diffusion? Diffusion means the movement of water from the soil. Soil water means water which is there in the soil, and minerals into the root hair is called diffusion. So you see here, there is one more diagram here. Just a minute. See this diagram. You can see here this is a plant. Okay, these are the roots of the plant, and this one root, we have zoomed this and they have shown how it works here. Okay, so you can see that these small roots which you can see here are nothing but these roots. Okay, and these roots, this is the soil. These brown particles are nothing but soil particles, and there is water in between them, the soil particles. So this water, by these arrows you can see this water is going inside the root hair. Okay, they absorb water and then you can see these root hairs, they are filled with this blue color. This blue color is nothing but the water which is filled in the root hair. Okay, now how this water travels, everything else in detail we'll study now. Okay, so first let's come here on this point. So you can see that the soil water and minerals, they enter the root hair. Okay, they enter the root, and they enter the root by which process? By the process of diffusion. Okay, so what is diffusion? Diffusion is the process of movement of molecules from a region of higher concentration to a region of lower concentration. We have also studied this topic in chemistry, and if not, we'll be doing in the latter chapters. So you see, what is diffusion? It is the movement of molecules from higher concentration to lower concentration, which means, let's understand that there is roots here. Now this soil which is present here has more amount of water. For example, soil has 100 units of water. Okay, and these roots here inside, the roots have 50 units. So there is more water in the soil, 100 units. More water means higher concentration. Higher concentration means more amount. Okay, so water will go from this soil 100 units into the roots. Okay, so this is called movement from higher concentration to lower concentration. So from soil to water, it means soil has more water, roots have less water. So it is going from more water to less water. This is called as diffusion. And what goes from soil to water? It is the soil water and minerals which go from the soil to the roots. Okay, next. So you understood diffusion is a process of movement molecules from a higher concentration to a region of lower concentration. Okay, next is imbibition. Okay, it is called imbibition or imbibition, you can call it anything. So what is imbibition? It is very easy. It is the absorption of water by living or dead cells by surface attraction. Okay, the surface attraction is very important word here. Very simple. See, for example, you have a piece of paper, and if some water falls on that paper, few drops of water, you will see that after some time this paper will absorb the water. Okay, so paper is a dead cell, and on the surface of the paper some few drops of water was there, and that water was absorbed. So this is called as imbibition, normal imbibition. Okay, so this happens in plants also, they absorb water. So this is one type of absorption, imbibition. Okay, next is active transport. What is active transport? Before active transport, you must understand that what is the opposite of active transport, that is passive transport. So what we studied till now, see, I told you that from soil water goes in the roots. Okay, why water goes in the roots? Because soil has 100 units of water. This is just an example. Okay, and roots have less water. For example, roots have only 40, so it is going from 100 to 40, and there is no energy involved here. It is automatically going. Why automatically? Because it always happens that where you have more water, it will go from more to less. Okay, जहाँ ज़्यादा होगा वहाँ से वो जहाँ कम है वहाँ जाएगा. Okay, so it will keep on moving like this. This is called as passive transport. So what is passive transport? You can see there is more particles here. So from more particles they are going to where there are less particles. So this is passive transport, simple transport. But then what is active transport? See, if I want to do the reverse process means that there are more particles here and there are less here. If I want to transmit from less to more, okay, see, the pressure is coming here because this is more, so the pressure, because of the pressure the particles will go here. But what if I want to do reverse? I'm from less to more. Okay, so in this diagram, pay attention, you can see there are two particles here and there are many particles here, but still the movement is in this direction. So how can we achieve this? This doesn't happen automatically. Okay, see, this from more to less happens automatically. Okay, so that is why it is called passive. Passive word means no energy is involved. Okay, it is happening automatically. But if you want to do a reverse process, okay, if you want to move from less to more, then you have to apply some energy. Okay, and that energy is in the form of ATP. ATP has a full form, adenosine triphosphate, but full form is not important for you. Just remember, ATP are energy molecules. Okay, that is the energy. So we apply energy because see, there is more particles here and there are more particles here, there are less particles here. Okay, so actually what should happen, from more to less, but we don't want this, we want from less to more. So we have to apply some energy. From here we will apply some energy. That energy is called as ATP. And this type of transport from less to more, okay, is called as active transport. So let's read the definition. Active transport is the mode of transportation in plants which uses stored energy to move particles against concentration gradient. Means against concentration means where there is higher concentration it goes there. Okay, in plants it takes place in root cells for absorbing water and minerals. Means what? See, let's understand. For example, here this is root, on the right side is root, and this left side is water, soil water. Okay, so first there was more water in the soil, so water went into the roots. Okay, this is the boundary, let's say. Okay, so water went in the roots, but now water is continuously going, and after some time it happens that now there is less water in the soil and there is more water in the roots. So what will happen? Will it happen that now roots will give water to the soil? It cannot happen. Roots will not give the water to the soil. So at this time, when root has a lot of water but there is less water in the soil, still root keeps on taking the water, whatever less water, थोड़ा भी पानी जो soil के अंदर है, ठीक है, roots will absorb it by, see, understand again, पहले ज़्यादा पानी था soil में. Okay, this is soil, so this part left hand side is soil and this is root. So पहले ज़्यादा पानी था soil में, वो ज़्यादा पानी roots में आया. अब पानी कम है तो roots ने जो पानी लिया है, it will not give it back. Okay, it will keep on taking the water from the soil even if the soil has less water. So this is called as active transport. Okay, because roots need water, that's why. I hope you have understood active transport, or you can rewind the video and you can read the topic in your textbook also along with the video. Okay, next, ascent of sap. Sap, I had already told you what is sap. Sap is water plus minerals. Okay, it is called as sap. And what is ascent? Ascent means upward movement. Okay, ascent normally means upward movement from the smaller height to higher height. Okay, ascent, ascending word comes from ascent. Okay, so what is ascent of sap? Let's understand with the diagram. Okay, and the reason. So ascent of sap means water goes from low to high. Okay, and there are certain reasons why this happened. This happens through xylem, we know that. Okay, but why this happens? There are certain factors which affect this movement of sap. See, water and minerals from here goes in the upward direction. See, there is water and minerals here, they go in this upward direction. And why they go, let's understand the factors affecting the ascent of sap. Okay, the upward movement of sap. Root pressure. So what is root pressure? Now with diagrams we'll understand what is root pressure in the next pictures. Okay, so just understand root pressure means, basically for now just understand root pressure means roots are pushing the water up. Okay, because see, roots are taking new water inside. रूट्स कंटिन्यूसली वाटर ले रहे हैं अंदर, तो जो पहले से पानी है उसको वो ऊपर पुश करेंगे. ओके, दे विल कीप पुशिंग इट अप. ओके, सो सी, these are the roots ने पानी लिया and they will keep pushing that water up in the plant. Okay, so that वो और पानी ले सके. Correct. Then next is adhesion and cohesion. What is adhesion and cohesion? What happens is, adhesion is between different particles, cohesion is between same particles. So adhesion is between different particles, means that, see, if this is the stem, okay, and when water goes up, some water sticks to the walls of the stem of this tube. Okay, means water sticks on this tube. For example, you can see, if you drink a glass of water, if you have a glass of water, you drink the water, but still there is some droplets of water stuck on the wall of the glass. Correct. That why they stick because of this adhesion. Okay, so there is water which sticks on the walls of the tubes, and that is why this water goes here. So this water is wasted, so now it will demand more water. Okay, then what is cohesion? Cohesion means the attraction between two water molecules. Okay, so water will attract itself. How this happens? See, when water molecules, these are water molecules which are going up, okay, they are attached to each other. Okay, so when one water molecules are in contact with each other like this, they are in continuous contact, they form a chain. Okay, so when one water molecule is pushed in this direction, all the water molecules will go in this direction. Okay, they are tied to each other. So this pull by one molecule to all the molecules, okay, all the molecules get pulled in this direction. This is called as cohesion. Okay, next, capillary force. Okay, what is capillary force? Capillary force means something which is very narrow, like a straw. When you apply a little pressure from here, the liquid will come inside. See, anything which is very narrow, if it is very narrow, it will give a capillary force. Capillary force means liquid will immediately go up. Okay, so narrow tubes can easily pull the liquid because of its structure. If the tube is broad, it will not be able to pull water up, but narrow tubes can easily pull water, and that is why the straws which you use to drink cold drink are very narrow, because they can easily pull the cool drink up. That is called as capillary force. Next is transpiration pull. Okay, transpiration means loss of water by evaporation. Okay, so see, water loss due to evaporation. Water gets lost due to evaporation. So if water got lost, more water is demanded. So from where will the more water come? It will come from here. Okay, so see what we are studying, ascent of sap. Ascent means Why water is going up? Because there is loss of water here. Water is getting lost here. It is going up. That is why more water is demanded. So more water will travel up. That is called as ascent of sap. Okay. So I hope you have understood the 4 points. Read these 4 points in the textbook. Okay. These points are there mostly in Peter's textbook. Christchurch have only one paragraph based on ascent of sap. So this is extra knowledge for you. Okay. Let's understand the next topic. Root hair cell, soil particles and water. We did this diagram. Let's again discuss what it is. Observe the diagram carefully. These are the roots, and when you magnify these roots, you will see that the root hair look like this. They take water from the soil. Okay, they fill themselves with water. Now once this water is filled in this root hairs, what will happen to this water? We'll understand in the next slide. Here, see, this is root hair. Okay, and it is taking water. Now this water first goes in this cell. Okay, now these two cells are filled with water. From here, from these two cells, the water will go in the next cell. Okay, from this next cell, it will go in further next cell. Okay, from here, it will go in this cells. So you can understand, and then from here, it will go in this, and slowly it will reach here. So see what happened. First water will travel like this from one cell to another, from one cell to another, and it will reach here. And what is this? This is the stem, okay, which has xylem in it. Now this xylem will transmit the water up. So from here, water from here went in the next cell here, then from here in the next cell here, and from here it came inside. So from cell to cell, this is called as cell to cell transmission. Water is getting transmitted from cell to cell. Okay, so when the roots are filled with water, they push the water here, and that water goes to the stem. Okay, and this happens continuously in plants. Okay, next, so how these roots absorb water, we understand by osmosis. What is osmosis? See this diagram. You can see, as I told you, that these root hairs have semi-permeable membrane. Semi-permeable means you can see that there are walls here. Okay, so few things can pass, few things cannot pass. Okay, this is called as semi-permeable. So osmosis means movement of water from a region of higher concentration to a region of lower concentration. Means you can see that these blue particles are more on the right side. Okay, so these blue particles will go from here to here in this part, like this. So this is the movement of blue particles. Blue particles means water molecules. So water is moving from the movement of water from a region of higher concentration. Higher concentration means यहाँ पे this right side has more water. More water means higher concentration. So it will go from here to here through a semi-permeable membrane. Semi-permeable membrane means this part, this membrane here will not allow all particles to go. It will allow only water particles to go, not other particles. Okay, so that is why it is called as semi-permeable membrane. Okay, so this is called as osmosis, movement from higher concentration to a lower concentration. Okay, read the paragraph in your textbook. Pause the video and read the paragraph in your textbook. Okay, next. Now let's understand in transpiration in detail. Okay, so basically what was transpiration? Transpiration was that leaves, because of the heat from the sun, water from the leaves gets evaporated. Okay, water from the leaves get evaporated. This evaporation is called as transpiration. Okay, this is called as transpiration. And what is transpiration pull? Transpiration pull means that once water gets evaporated from here, the leaf will demand more water. Now more water will go from here to the leaf. So basically leaf is pulling water up. Okay, so here there is one more leaf, for example. So this leaf will also have transpiration, and this leaf will also demand more water. So more water will come to this leaf. This is called as transpiration pull. Okay, so let's see an experiment of transpiration pull. See this picture here. In this picture you can see this plant here. The half plant is covered with plastic and the half plant is kept open. Okay, and this plant is kept in sunlight. So this is sunlight here. So the sun rays are falling on the plant, and because of the sun rays, the leaves of the plant, these are the leaves of the plant, water is getting evaporated from here. Okay, evaporated means in the form of vapor. It is getting evaporated. But in this part of the plant you can see here the evaporated water will go in the atmosphere. Okay, but in this part water cannot go out because of this plastic bag. We have kept a plastic bag, so the water gets settled on the plastic bag from inside. Okay, so you can see this zoomed, you can see small drops of water here which is getting settled on the plastic bag because they cannot go out. Okay, so this shows that plants are continuously giving out water vapor. Because of transpiration, water vapor is coming out of the plants, and we can see that water vapor getting settled on that plastic. So this proves that transpiration takes place. So this was the experiment to prove transpiration. Okay, next. So this diagram shows the entire process of transpiration. So don't get confused, look at this part first. See this part. Here you can see water is absorbed in the soil. Okay, then the water is going slowly in the leaves. Okay, water went in the leaves. From the leaves the water is going out. Going out means because of transpiration. Okay, now how it is going out? This leaf here looks like this. This is the width of the leaf. Okay, inside the leaf, this water which is going inside the leaf, see here, this water is going like this in the leaf. Okay, so this you can imagine that this is the root hair. From here water went inside. From xylem, this water is going inside the leaf, and from inside the leaf you can see there are small cells of the leaf. These are small cells of the leaf. Okay, from here this water from the empty space goes out in the form of vapor. Okay, so this opening here is called as stoma. Okay, this opening here is called as stoma. From here the water which is entered, see again, trace this blue line, water enters from the xylem, it goes to the leaves, and from the leaf, from the stoma, this water will go out. Okay, so this is how transpiration takes place, and all this is happening because of the sun. Okay, so now the topic transpiration is done. Next, what are the importance of transpiration? So first, it keeps the cell turgid. Turgid means because transpiration happens, plant keep on taking more and more water, and because of that water, plants are strong, they have strength, good strength. It cools the surface, it cools the surface of the leaves, cools the surface of the leaves. As I told you in the previous video, that if someone throws water on you, okay, few drops of water, and when this water will get evaporated, you will have a cooling effect on your hand. Like I gave an example that when your body is wet, you have a cooling effect. Okay, so this cooling effect is because of evaporation. Okay, so this cooling effect comes to plants also because of transpiration. Transpiration is nothing but evaporation. Okay, next, helps in growth and development. Helps in growth and development. Now this is very important point. How growth and development? See, when water, if this is a plant, when water goes up, along with water, minerals also enter the plant. Okay, so along with water, minerals also enter the plant. Because of transpiration, there is water loss. So more and more water is coming, and continuously water is coming up. So along with that continuous water, minerals are also entering the plant. Okay, see for example, अगर एक ही बार प्लांट ने वाटर ले लिया, ओके लेट्स से प्लांट ने हाफ एन आवर में 10 लीटर्स वाटर ले लिया, ओके एंड देयर इज़ नो ट्रांसपीरेशन, सो वो 10 लीटर्स वाटर प्लांट को मिल गया, तो प्लांट का काम हो गया. बट जो मिनरल्स आना था वो थोड़ा ही आया. अब और मिनरल्स कहाँ से आएगा? इट वोंट कम. बट if there is transpiration taking place, what will happen? That 10 liters of water, plant has taken 10 liters of water. With this 10 liters, let's say we got 10 minerals. Okay, now out of this 10 liters, 8 liters got evaporated. Okay, so again once 8 liter got evaporated, new 8 liter water will come. Along with this 8 liter, again 8 minerals will enter the plants. Okay, so new minerals are coming in the plants. Okay, because evaporation, transpiration is only of water. Okay, minerals don't get evaporated, minerals stay inside the plant. So more and more water is coming inside the plant, more and more minerals are coming. Okay, so it helps in growth and development of the plant. Next, it controls the temperature of the plant. Yes, because if there is more water in your body temperature is normal. Okay, if there is less water, your body gets heats up. You know that. Okay, water cools your body. Okay, so water fights heat. Next, allows the movement of minerals from different parts of the plant. As I told you that the food which is transmitted in plants, the minerals which are transmitted in plants, all travel because of water only. Okay, so water carries the food, water carries the minerals. So water is very important. Movement of water is very important, and this we get because of transpiration. Okay, next, the last part is about the nutrients. Now plants need different nutrients. Some are macronutrients and micronutrients. Macro means they are needed in large quantities, and micro means plants need them in small quantities. Okay, but these nutrients are important. All nutrients are important. Okay, if plant don't get the nutrients, they may get some diseases. Okay, so let's understand what are these. So the nutrients, first, nitrogen. What is the role of nitrogen in plant? It gives plant proteins. Okay, and if major deficiency symptom means if nitrogen is not there in plant, okay, there will be yellowing of leaves. You may have seen in some trees, in some plants, the leaves become yellow. Okay, so that is because there is lack of nitrogen in the plants. Okay, then wrinkling of cereal grains. Wrinkling means again that the leaves will get rolled. Okay, the leaves will get folded like this. So again, this is a problem because of lack of proteins. Okay, next, phosphorus. It helps in cell membrane and also gives certain proteins. Constituent of cell membrane means plants have cell membrane, and to make this cell membrane we need phosphorus. Okay, and if this phosphorus is not there, so plants, the leaves will get red spots, purple spots, and the seed germination will take time. Seed germination means one seed becomes a plant. So this process will take longer time. Okay, slow हो जाएगी growth plant की. Next, potassium. So potassium for growing tissues. See, xylem tissues, phloem tissues, they are tissues. So more the potassium, these tissues will grow properly. Okay, and involved in opening and closing of stomata. This stomata is nothing but the stoma. I told you stoma. See here in this video we saw that the water coming from the plants comes out from here. Okay, so this was nothing but the stoma. This stoma is nothing but stomata. Okay, so here this opening and closing, stomata is like a door. Okay, when should water go out, when should water come in, the stomata decides. Okay, so this is done by this nutrient potassium. Okay, next, after stomata we have iron. These are micronutrients. Okay, so from iron the plant gets some proteins, nothing much, it gets some proteins. If these proteins are not there, then leaves will become yellow. Next is manganese. Manganese also gives some enzymes. Enzymes are required to make food for the plants, okay, and to fight diseases. If this food is not there, if these proteins are not there, again it will give yellowing of leaves, and there may be some gray spots also. Okay, gray spots. Next is zinc. Constitute plant hormones. Plant hormone means, see, hormones decide many things in the body, in our body also and in plant body also. For example, growth will depend upon the hormone, the color will depend upon the hormone, the number of flowers, the number of fruits will depend upon the hormone, and these hormones depend on zinc. Okay, so zinc is very important. Next is if the zinc is not there, we have D-shaped leaves. D-shaped leaves means, see, the leaves should have a shape like this, most common, but if the hormone is not good, if this zinc is not proper, the leaves may have a shape like this, like this. So this you can see that the shape of the leaves is destroyed, so they may have D-shaped leaves. Okay, and then again yellowing of leaves is very common deficiency, and stunted plant growth. Stunted, this word stunted means the height of the plant will not grow. Means stunted means chota sa plant. Okay, like the plant should grow this much, but because of lack of zinc the plant is growing only this much. The height, the growth will be less. Okay, this is because of zinc. Understood? So with this was the last topic. With this we have covered everything. If you have any doubts in the chapter, see, I'll keep a small doubt lecture also. You read the chapter properly and mark any word, any sentence. If you have any confusion in it, you can ask me. We'll discuss it in live lecture. Okay, see, I've taken this biology lecture on YouTube video because because once we have these pictures like this, it is not possible to show you this type of pictures in live lectures. So to understand properly each and every concept, okay, these lectures on YouTube are very beneficial and these are recorded, so you can watch them again. Okay, so biology is very important and biology needs pictures, so it is better we study the chapter using pictures. Okay, so like this. So that's it for today. Bye. Read the chapter. Okay.